Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. So, wake up. How are you guys doing today? How are you tracking towards your plan? Are you using a GSD list, which is a get stuff done list, which is centered around not just to dos, but outcomes? Are you tracking towards your outcomes? Are you making progress towards your plan? And the reason why we check in with each other on these Wake Up Wednesdays is because if you're like me, then the week can sometimes get away from you. You're double and triple booked on your calendar, and people just book time on your calendar, even though the slot is already filled, they don't care. People are pinging you, you're in group chats, you have a query system, and before you know it, it's midway through the week, and you look down at your list. Hopefully, you have a list, and you notice I'm not tracking towards my outcomes. I'm not tracking towards my goals. What's going on? So this is an opportunity for us to reinvigorate one another, for us to recharge, and for us to wake up. So welcome to Wake Up Wednesdays. I want to talk to you guys today about an article that I posted in the group chat entitled, What is a Value Stream? What are value streams? And why are they so powerful? And before we get into the article, I want to give a shout out to the folks at Applied Frameworks. They are really an amazing shop. I see them as an educational force, and I have no affiliation with them other than I'm a fan and I'm a customer. They give some great, amazing frameworks, articles, education certifications. If you get a chance, go check out these folks at Applied Frameworks. They are really excellent. And once again, the only affiliation I have with these guys is that I'm a customer because they do a great job. And we're going to touch the surface today on how powerful value streams and profitability are. But if you want to go real deep into the space, reach out to those guys. I want to just check my notes here. And I put something that really resonated with me. Okay, here it is. It says in the article, are you ready? It's time to transform. Stay lean, but not mean. And that's a little play on words because that comes from Lean Project Management, or LPM. And there's a lot of good information out there from the lean folks in the world on value stream mapping. So what is it and why should you care? So value stream mapping is going to improve your efficiency, cut out waste, and reduces non-value added activities and processes. It's going to enhance the quality and streamline the processes for the purpose of reducing error and defects. It increases customer satisfaction. It delivers products and services more efficiently, effectively, and reliably, enhancing your customer experience. It facilitates continuous improvement and provides a framework for ongoing improvement. And of course, it will help you to identify the value add versus the non-value add or non-profitable streams or processes. So what is the first step? It is to, one, identify the value stream. What is the second step? The second step is to, two, map the value stream. What is the third step? The third step is cut into two parts. So that's three, create the value stream. Part one, selection, and part two, analysis, design, and creation. So those are the three steps. So let's talk about each one very simply. So how do you identify your value stream? So you have a business, you have a product, you have a project, you have an organization. So whether you're a small, medium, or large size business, or whether you're a startup, you're coming to market, or a large conglomerate, the first thing you want to do is to define your product, your service, or the group of product and services you offer. So what do I mean by group of product and services? So let's use a very traditional example. You guys know I like to refer to traditional things. And let's use something like a beverage company. A beverage company's traditional product, you might know them as a cola or a soda, but they might also offer additional products such as sparkling waters, juices, and different types of drink products. So it's identifying the group of products and services that you offer. You can also think about your product and services if you have one main product as what are the additional features and functions. So you group all these together. And guys, as always, you know me, I like to draw everything out on a whiteboard. I have horrible handwriting, but somehow people are still able to follow me anyway. I like to write this out on a whiteboard. If you have a smart whiteboard that automatically transfers that digitally, that's great. If you want to use a digital whiteboard, that's great. The article I posted in reference to this is actually from Lucid. That's another great tool. Once again, I have no affiliation with Lucid other than I'm a customer, I'm a fan. So you want to visualize these things. The power of value stream mapping is to create visual representations of the value in the stream. So define the products in the family. The next is actually mapping out that current state and that process. So what are all the steps and stages that that product goes through? This will give you and all of your stakeholders a clear picture. So most people, this is where they're like, Mark, I was following you until you said map out the process. We know what the process is. Well, maybe you know what the process is. And maybe it's clear in your head, but you would be surprised that when you get the group of the right stakeholders, which is coming into my next point, in a room together, whether that's a physical or virtual room, and you map it out and you do it together as a team, as a group, people take a step back and they say, oh, wow, I didn't realize that these were all the steps or these were all the processes in place. So it facilitates an opportunity for collaboration to see the actual process. Like I was just talking about, it's identifying who are those key people that you want in the room with you. So as always, these are people in your CPO, Chief Product Organization, CTO, Chief Technology Organization, COO, Chief Operational Organization, CEO, Chief Executive Office uh, um, organization, or some liaise for them, and all the different Chief Information Officers, et cetera, based on the different nuances for your particular product or business. Gather data. So once you have it all mapped out, you want to think about how long does it take to go from point A to point D? What's that involved in terms of the time, the material? What does it cost? How many people does it take? Does it take 20 people to go from A to B and then another 2 people to go from B to C? On average, what are those people costs? What are the infrastructure costs? What are the software costs? So thinking about all the different data you can gather around this process and mapping that out, adding those onto the whiteboard. So the best way that I do this is if you're working on a physical or a virtual whiteboard and you make each step like really big in a box, you can write in those boxes on the bottom different indicators for the different data points, whether that be time, whether that be material, whether that be labor, etc. All right, so step 2, how do you map out the value stream? Well, we talked a little bit about it where you start to draw that on the whiteboard. What you've just drawn in the whiteboard is your current state. Below that, or next to it, or if you have a virtual whiteboard and you're very good with these things, the best way is to do an overlay. If the overlay is too complex, or if you just want to do it quick and dirty, you're thinking as you're writing and you're talking. Next to it or below it, you map out the future state. So you have what they would call tactically how it's working now versus how it could work in the future. So as you're working together as a team, you're identifying these value streams, and there could be multiple ones. You're identifying things in your mind where you're saying, well, I didn't know it worked like this. Maybe it should work like that. That's where you actually map that out. Now, another tip, if you don't have the opportunity to do an overlay, which clearly shows the differences between a current and a future state, just take a yellow marker and outline that stage in the map. And that symbolizes to everyone that this is something that represents change. And that will show clearly differences between current and future states. So that's very important. The next thing you want to do is, once you have all those yellow boxes or that overlay, you want to start to think about the plan and all the dependencies and the time and the material of how long and what it's going to take to implement this future state. Okay. Let's go to part 2, and let's talk about outlining the steps. Okay. So what we did so far was we thought about our business, our product, or our services. We got all of the stakeholders in the room, whether that's a virtual room. We mapped the current state out on a whiteboard. We added all of the additional data points in terms of how long does this take, what are the dependencies, how much does it cost, next to it or below it, so it's easy to see an overlay, or we highlighted the differences. The next is creating an actionable plan that shows how we go from current state to future state. And this is where we need to ask ourselves a very important question. Once we map out all of these value streams, we need to say which of these value streams actually add value or profit to our bottom line versus which do not add value to our bottom line. And if we are thinking about lean portfolio or lean project management, out of these processes, can we remove them? Are there certain processes that are in place that are non-value added or not profitable? Maybe we need to keep these processes in place for compliance, regulatory, legal, or controls, and maybe they need to be in place. Or maybe there are some processes that really aren't making us a lot of money or adding to our bottom line or enhancing our customer experience. So that is absolutely key. And then this is where we map out the plan. We talk about how we're going to do this in stages, and we roll that out. This is what we're doing for the next 2 weeks, for the next month, for the next quarter, for the next year, in line with the vision, the mission, statement of purpose, the objectives and key results, and putting KPIs or key performance indicators in place. Okay, guys, so shout out to the folks at Applied Frameworks for sparking the idea that this is a great topic we need to talk about. I would really recommend you go check out Applied Frameworks. They're excellent coaches, communicators, educators. They can help you go much deeper on this or other topics. Once again, my only affiliation is that I'm a customer, I'm a fan. Go check out the virtual whiteboard Lucid and the value mapping tool Lucid. You can map these out in a virtual setting. Once again, I am a customer for them. I have no affiliation other than I'm a fan. And welcome again to Wake Up Wednesday. So wake up. I hope that you appreciated this opportunity to think about value streams and where the profit and non-value add is in your business or your product. And let's keep the conversation going. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call sometime. I'd love to talk to you and go deeper on this. All right, guys, thank you and have a great day. Bye-bye.